On this short video, I want to discuss a little bit the commentary of Ibn Ezra to the Book of Shemot. We just started reading the Book of Shemot. This Shabbat will start the first parsha of Shemot, and Ibn Ezra is considered one of the greatest commentaries. He is, of course, in almost every standard edition of commentaries to the Torah, what's called Mikraot Gedolot. After Rashi and Ramban, he's probably one of the most important and well-quoted commentaries. There are a lot of super commentaries written to explain his words. He's often using cryptic, short, concise language, which is hard to understand, and therefore there are all these super commentaries. Of course, Rashi studied many more times than Ibn Ezra, probably 10 times more in terms of the number of super commentaries and in terms of, in general, the number of quotes. But after Rashi and possibly Ramban, Ibn Ezra might be the third most important commentary. So the author lived part of his life in Spain, and he also traveled throughout the world. Rabbi Avraham Ibn Ezra was a Sephardi sage who wrote very important commentaries to other books of the Tanakh as well. Some books of Nevi'im, some books of Ketuvim. We don't always have, not on every book there is a commentary of Ibn Ezra. In some cases there is a suspect that certain commentaries of Ibn Ezra are not really written by him. An example might be the Book of Mishlei. Even though it's considered, in Mikraot Gedolot at least, we find the commentary of Ibn Ezra, but there is a suspicion that it's not really Ibn Ezra. It was written by somebody in Kimchi family, maybe Rabbi Moshe Kimchi. I'm not going to go into this right now. I'm only going to discuss Ibn Ezra's commentary to the Book of Shemot. So the issue is that this commentary is not similar to his commentary on the other 5 books of Moshe. It's not similar in style, it's much longer. You could just see it by the volumes. When they just print Ibn Ezra's commentary, the Book of Shemot is the thickest volume, much thicker than the other ones. Very surprising. Why would that be so? The book is not the longest book. Breshit is a longer book. And also he seems to be explaining in the very beginning of the commentary some things that he seemed to have already explained in the book of Breshit. Why is he explaining this again? The simplest words, like Vayehi. Why would he explain simplest words? So many scholars and rabbinical commentators already suspected that something is weird about this commentary. In addition, we find that Ibn Ezra himself quotes in his commentary on other books, quotes himself in his commentary on the Book of Shemot, and we don't find it in our commentary on the Book of Shemot, meaning the commentary that's printed in most Mikraot Gedolot doesn't seem to fit his own words. If he's quoting in, let's say, the Book of Dvarim, saying, I explained it already in such and such place in the Book of Shemot, and we don't find it in his explanation, that's certainly a big red sign. What's going on here? So, for a while already, there was a suspicion that there are two different commentaries of Ibn Ezra to the Book of Shemot. So people suspected that there must be a second commentary. And that's the one that fits the pattern. It's shorter, it's explains everything he claims to explain when he quotes himself in other books, saying that he explained it in the Book of Shemot. And guess what? This commentary was found eventually. Today, it's not hard, of course, to find it. It's on the internet, it's on HebrewBooks.org, even with a super commentary that explains his words. It's also in the Mossad Rav Kook edition of Mikraot Gedolot. It's also on the Bar Ilan disc, and in many other places. So today it's not difficult to find the second commentary of Ibn Ezra, and to make it clear which one we're quoting, to distinguish them, usually that one is called the shorter commentary, which of course it is. On average it's short, although in some places it's a short commentary that's longer on specific verses, but on average it's a shorter commentary. So they call it the short commentary and the long commentary. So now the question is, what's the relationship between the two commentaries? There was one supposition that actually the long commentary was written by a student, that it's not really Ibn Ezra at all. It's a student of Ibn Ezra who collected commentaries from Ibn Ezra and added certain things on his own. Others say that no, both commentaries were written by Ibn Ezra. For whatever reason, Ibn Ezra wrote 2 commentaries on the Book of Shemot. One when he was writing his general commentary, one of the other 4 books, and the other that just happened to be here, the words of the Zohar, Tikkunei Zohar come to mind, that everything is talud b'mazel, even the Sefer Torah in the Heichal. Everything is mazel. So the mazel is that somehow the longer commentary, which was not in the same pattern, that's the one that became the most well-known. That's printed in every standard edition of Mikraot Gedolot. And it's the shorter commentary that was lost for the longest time and was printed relatively recently. So the question is, when did he write his long commentary and when did he write his short commentary? Which one was written later? On that there's also a dispute. I personally, after examining all the evidence, of course my opinion doesn't matter that much and I'm not an Ibn Ezra scholar, but after examining the evidence that's available, in my opinion it seems to make sense that the longer commentary is the later one. Meaning he first wrote the commentaries to all 5 books of Moshe, and then for whatever reason he started writing another commentary on the Book of Shemot. Maybe there were other commentaries, maybe he wrote one on Brishit also, and we just don't have that one. It's known that Ibn Ezra wrote commentaries on certain books that never surfaced. We're still waiting. Maybe some manuscript will be discovered one day. It happened many times in our history, especially in the last 100 or so years or more, that a lot of the lost commentaries of various great Rishonim came to light, were found in some manuscript somewhere in British Museum or in Hermitage in St. Petersburg or in even Vatican. There are a lot of different manuscripts that they find and sometimes print. So it's not an impossibility that one day, for instance, a true commentary of Ibn Ezra to Mishlei, to the Book of Proverbs, will be found. He definitely wrote a commentary to that book. We just don't have it. We have, like I said, it's likely that what we have is not his commentary, but a different scholar's commentary, which is printed under his name. In my series of lessons in Russian on Daf Yomi, I often discuss, when we get to the specific Masechet, when Daf Yomi starts a Masechet, I discuss whether the Rashi is through Rashi, whether the other Rishonim sometimes are misattributed. We have that quite often. It's not uncommon that a commentary that's attributed to a certain scholar is really not his commentary. So it could be that Ibn Ezra to Mishlei is not really Ibn Ezra. We know, for instance, for sure that the commentary to Divrei Hayamim that's attributed to Rashi is not Rashi. Everybody agrees on it now. If anybody misquoted and used to think it's Rashi, today there's so much evidence for it, there's not a question in anybody's mind that the commentary to Divrei Hayamim, the standard commentary, is not written by Rashi. And there could be other books like that. We don't know exactly about the Book of Ezra, the Book of Nehemiah, whether it's Rashi's commentary there. Could be it's not. But coming back to Ibn Ezra, there is a possibility that for whatever reason Ibn Ezra rewrote, started writing in his later age a new series of commentaries and started with Breshit. Or what's possible is that for some reason he decided to start with the Book of Shemot, didn't want to rewrite the commentary to the book that mostly deals with stories, but right away took the first of the books that deals with actual halachas. And that's why he started with the Book of Shemot. That's probably a much more likely scenario. But for whatever reason, a second commentary began to be written. And that's the one, as I mentioned, that became the most popular. And that's the most quoted commentary of Ibn Ezra to the Book of Shemot. And it's the shorter version that's much less well known. So this is all I wanted to say for today. And if you like this video, please press like and please subscribe to our channel.